Hi everyone, Pastor Wes here. Today I'm going to be talking about another spiritual discipline, the spiritual discipline of stewardship, and I'm actually going to break this up into two little videos like the book does. It spends a lot of time talking about two different things that we are stewards of, that we have to be wise stewards of, and they are time and money. Time and money. So the first one I'm going to talk about is time. And the Bible really teaches us to value time. And the Christian is a little bit different than from everybody else in the world because we have to look at time two different ways. We have to look at it as very temporary, life is very temporary, and life as eternal. We have to do both of those at the same time. There's a place in the Psalms where it says, "Teach me to number my days." So we have to be thinking about our lives and the fleeting nature of our lives. It often talks about our lives being like flowers that are, they bloom and then they wither, or grass that it's green one day, it withers the next day, and it's gone, and you can never get it back. And so time, it's something that we lose and we can never get back. You can't get time back, and time is so easy to lose. How much time can you waste doing nothing? Sometimes we agonize over doing something that's meaningful, something that, there are times that there are things that I need to do that are valuable that will only take 2 or 3 minutes, but I still put it off. And yet I can just sit and watch TV for hours and hours and not think anything of it. So why is it that I can just lose so much time on things that are worthless and then invest so little time on things that are valuable? Just think about how many stupid movies you've watched that took 2 hours of your life and they're gone. But how many times do you remember as a young person talking to somebody and you had a conversation with this older person for 4 or 5 minutes, something like that? It wasn't very long at all, but it's still, you still remember it. It still is making an impact on you even today. So time is very interesting. It actually, to make an internal difference in somebody's life, may not take any time at all. May take just a minute or less. And then sometimes to just lose everything, I don't know, you just spend so much time on things that are not worth it. So we have to be better stewards of our time. And if we really believe in eternity, then we have to invest now. And that's one thing that people don't really like to do. They don't like to invest now for joy later. But think about what the Bible tells us to do. Don't store up treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, but store up treasures in heaven. And it's talking about money, but it's also talking about just the way that you use your life. Why wouldn't I choose discomfort now for incredible joy later? Why wouldn't I decide to put in effort now so that I can have that joy later? And that's the thing about eternity, the thing about the Christian and eternity, is that we can afford to miss out on temporary joys now because we know that we'll have ultimate joy later. So anyway, if you ever are tempted and feel like, well, I'm just wasting my life now, I'm not experiencing life, I'm not having great adventures or anything, and I'm just kind of stuck. You're stuck in a place doing a ministry that God has called you to do. And I feel like in 1 Corinthians, Paul talks about remaining where you are. And it's not because he doesn't want you to take risks or have adventures or anything like that. He says more or less that you're planted in some place to be a blessing and to do ministry. The great joy in relationship and adventure and everything, we can save that for the resurrection. As Christians, we can really endure a lot here because we have so much hope in what's later. So our views on time allow us to live in ways that other people don't live. We can invest now, and we can sort of go through discomfort now, knowing that nothing we do gets wasted. People in the world, people who don't have hope in heaven, people who don't believe in heaven, don't believe in eternal life, they have to make the most of this life. They have to do everything that they can now. They have to spend themselves having all the fun that they can have now, because they don't know, they have no guarantee of joy later. We have that guarantee of joy later, so we can have responsibility now. We can do what we're supposed to do now. And by the way, when you're doing ministry, you know what I found? It's not a drag. It actually is a lot of fun. And I've traveled in tropical places and had a terrible time. You know, I've been to new and exciting places and taken a lot of pictures of places, and it didn't mean anything. What really has meant something to me is the times that I've spent sitting and talking to people, the short conversations that could have an eternal impact. Those things have given me joy now, and they're in the investment for my joy in eternity too. So be wise how you spend your time, and think about this temporary life now, and also have the view of eternity as well. They're both things that we have to consider, and they're both things that will help us manage and be wise stewards of our time in this life. Okay? God bless.